Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. And this is a special episode. It's about very, very specific message to people that need it. This is going to be very fit for Ascendant Virgo and Ascendant, I have the one before, Ascendant Leo. No, Ascendant Virgo and Ascendant Libra. Okay, Ascendant Virgo, Ascendant Libra, because both of your fifth house is ruled by Saturn, and it's also going to be fit for Ascendant Leos and Ascendant, and Ascendant, that would be Ascendant Leos, that would be Aquarius, 7th house. No, it's not Ascendant Leos, but that would be Ascendant Cancers and Ascendant Geminis. Okay, so Ascendant Cancer, Ascendant Gemini, and Ascendant Virgo and Ascendant Libra. For you, either the fifth house, Virgo and Libra is the fifth house, and for the other two ascendants, 8th house is ruled by Saturn. This is also fit for people with Saturn in the 5th house and the Saturn in the 8th house. Okay? And this is download that was received to me. I was giving someone karma and I was thinking, why is it arising? And they're about to be Saturn maturation. It came about when there was Saturn return, and now it's Saturn maturation. And that karma, and I realized what was this karma allowing, because giving karma is not about punishment. It's about removing of obstacles. And I realized it had to do with a way that I have wounded my inner child, very likely unconsciously, and limited my growth because of that. And so to curate relational attachment, curate karma so that they, if they have children, to have better relations with children, and if they try to have children, that can curate their karma and facilitate fertility. And immediately I realized something to do with Saturn. So this is going to be very, very good teaching for everybody with Saturn involved with their birthing houses, okay, with fertility. Can also be Saturn Moon or Saturn hard aspects to Moon as well, or Saturn Venus even. And this is the fact that if that is the case for you, you will notice that around any Saturn transit, whether it's Saturn return, Saturn maturation, transitions to your Saturn, okay? Right now, Pluto is finishing up with the Saturns in Capricorn, or with Capricorn is going to go into Aquarius. Or transitions, okay, to your 5th house, 8th house. But this one with Saturn, it means that the progress in your life in this topic is involved with certain karma. And karma is not a good or bad thing. It just means that what you have to correct will be presented to you to be corrected, okay? So that you can improve upon relations with your children. You can improve upon creative projects. You can improve upon investments. You can improve upon having children and your fertility. And children may come at Saturn return or at Saturn maturation. Or there's something to do, okay, with children on that level. And also to take care of all things Saturn, okay, your teeth, your bone, your skin, your hair. It's both facilitating that, and if there are delays, then around this Saturn transit or transits to your Saturn, those can be assisted, okay? And Saturn also involves ancestry. So if you try and, let's say, to have children, you want to curate for ancestry wounds around inner child, okay? And it might, and now because this is Saturn, it very likely is that you are A, already doing that, and B, you're doing everything possible, and it seems like, oh, that one missing link is important. Okay, if I take it back to my case, but the essence of basically the mistake that the person did and needs to learn from, or needed to learn from and correct, is to be able to see a joyous inner child. Because basically they invested a lot in me. Okay, they were both a holistic healer and teacher of aromatherapy. They invested a lot in me. And when their investment began to yield, I was both a student, I was shining, I was happy, then they felt like they have to put me in my place, okay? And this is very tragic for dynamic, because they invested, okay? So it's their effort going into this. What you invested in begins to yield, begins to bloom, begins to shine, and you feel like you have to put it in its place. And that's something, it's curable, okay? But that's kind of like the only missing link. But to curate, and then curate also for inner child, that you deserve to shine like this, and so on. And so for you, that might be having to do with that, because Saturn is also about agriculture and growth, okay, and karma. And it can be, with Saturn, you invest a lot, and also important to allow something to grow and to shine around you. Now with Capricorn, or even with Aquarius, Saturn can restrict that, okay? So you want to tend to your inner child, in which ways you have been restricting your growth, in which ways it was difficult for you to see yourself shine, to grow. Can be even negative self-talk, can be many things. And you are, and it takes time, so you have to give it time. Don't be alarmed if you're not one of the people that bring very early on babies. Don't think you're losing your fertility. No, it actually can give you fertility that is increased in time. It's not always like the books, okay? And especially pay attention to the ability to enjoy your yield. Okay, to enjoy, to have rest and enjoy your success, enjoy your yield, reconnect with a sense of joy and purpose and growth. Sometimes you will always be alarmed by what you grow. If you have, let's say, students or children, okay, they can have such growth that stands the test of time, okay, because it's like you grow in a tree, and they can reach the peak of the mountain. So both your children, if you have child like this, a student can also be a little bit like child-parent relations. So if you have students, okay, that looks like they are like climbing to the edge of the mountain, yes, understand that this is your inner child. They're not more than you, they're not overpowering you, and they're definitely not overwhelming you. And so will it be with your children. Your children also, they will rise, they will go, they will climb mountains in their lives, and they would reach the peak of these mountains. And so would your inner child, okay? And so would you. And sometimes what people are most afraid to see is to let themselves grow, to let themselves expand, to cross the barriers of what they think is possible, to deal with the places that they are putting themselves in their place. Maybe you grew up with a family that had a lot of children. Maybe people put you in your place, or maybe you insinuated, maybe it's not on purpose, and you insinuated that they put you in your place, that they keep you on a small flame, okay? And that would be something that you also have to give time, give yourself the grace, because it takes time to build up to that karma, because you're building for both you, your inner child, your creative project, what you do, your investments and so on, but also your own children. You're building for children that will climb a mountain, and they will grow, and it can almost look alarming to what heights, okay, they grow. And it's not about trimming them down or replacing the tree, okay, with smaller tree. Just as you wouldn't replace the child with smaller child, okay? And you wouldn't replace for yourself with smaller self, because these people would, if you tend to do that, you tend to do that to yourself first. And you also give the gift of grace, okay? Because I've seen that a lot in therapeutic relationships. Now, Capricorn, they also like to be caretakers. And you invest in patient, you invest, you give, you hold space, then patience starts to shine. Your investment starts to yield. There can be both the fear of separation. Think about when your child is shining, is blooming, is grown, then what happens? They begin to build their own house, right? To travel, okay, or to do with their career, okay? And they continue, okay, something. And also for if patient, okay, or student, okay, you invest, they begin to learn, they begin to apply, okay, for your teachings. Okay, and to be able to see them bloom, to see them shine, this is key to unlocking your fertility. When somebody, inner child, reconnects with their inner child and is starting to shine, this means also for your success, because this person has gotten to connect with their inner child in front of you. If you are a teacher, if you are a therapist, if you are a parent, okay, and even adult people, you would pay attention very closely when even adult people start to reconnect with the inner child next to you. It means that you're in good fertility and in good relation, okay, with your inner child. You inspire people to shine, and sometimes you can inspire people to shine, but when they shine, you are trying to tone it down, because you may very likely you treat yourself that way. So pay attention to that. And also the gift of grace, it's taking time to build the ability to hold space for the bloom, okay, for enjoying the fact that you grew something and it grows and it blooms and the person shines and the children shine, and no need for anxiety or anything that Saturn, okay, can bring up, okay, for this restriction, this, that, and that is something that can bloom within you around 28 and around 36 even more, and around 54, okay, around age 54, your second Saturn return as well, that you have to deal, that you are dealing with that you're building up to that. And this child, whoever plays the child, it can be your student, it could be your patient, it can be your actual child, okay, around these times, they will give you karma. If you cannot watch them shine, they will give you karma, okay? And you have to face this karma, because this karma is not meant to break you down. This karma is meant to basically break down these patterns that were not allowing you to see a happy, joyous, thriving student, child, patient. And basically it's meant to bring you the fruits of your success, okay? So and this is very important, and where you see people connecting to their inner child next to you, they're not being childish and irresponsible. They are a phase of something that you do that's positive, or something that you are that is positive. And when the more you're able to see that and enjoy that, and you know, just be able to enjoy that. It's nothing much asked from you to be able to enjoy that, rather than feel threatened by that, or fear that it's not going to be for you. And sometimes, many times, this fear is so baseless, because for these people, they always, okay, they would praise your name, and they would say, okay, I learned from this and that, and so on. So like all these fears are really they have no basis, okay? It's those things, and when you allow to enjoy for the fruits of your labor, so basically to see people shining next to you and allow them to shine on the right of themselves, okay, then you open up a gates for success, open up a gates for fertility, open up a gates for good relations with children, and with your own children, and with your inner child. That being said, of course, the factor time and can be some sort of limitation can take place. So be graceful with yourself. Okay, even when you receive this karma, it can be very, breaky, because you tend to already be self-judgmental and tell, like, I did so much for this person, why can't I? Was like, yes, all you have to do is this so much for this person. All you have to do was enjoy when this person is shining and growing, and simply enjoy, not fear that, simply enjoy that, and know that you have held the space to and gave teachings and gave things for this person, okay, to grow. And not to begin to tumble that with the wrong teachings, with the this, with the that. This is where you undermine yourself, then also your student or your patient or your own child, okay? And that is, again, always awareness, okay, is good, and giving yourself the grace of time to tackle that. And if you've had such karma on a professional level, on stuff like that, again, remember, this is not coming to break you down. Saturn is not intending to break you down. Saturn is only intending to release these blockages to your success and have success that stands the test of time. Okay, that's the only thing it's meant to do. Is something that the fruits of your labor stand the test of time. And that means that you grow something that the success of that child, that person, that student, it stands the test of time. And so the fact that you offered karma, if you undermine yourself by trying to tone them down, okay, which is the mirror reflection of toning yourself down, okay, because, and there is no reason. And so if you, then you would be given very harsh karma, but this harsh karma, again, is so that you don't undermine yourself in this way, and you can enjoy, okay, the shine of yourself and of those around you, be them colleagues, be them students, and remember that all the good things you put into this relationship or to these children or to these students, okay, they all stand for you. They're not taken, they're not diminished, they're not taken away, and the credit that you have on this is not taken away, okay? It's just for you to stop undermining yourself and the people around you, especially when it comes to inner child. The major giant progresses with that and the relevant karmas that would be given around that would be around Saturn return and maturation, age 28, 36, and the second Saturn returned 54, and that is meant to unlock your success, and what you achieve at those ages, it stands the test of time. Okay, it will not be questions, it would not be taken away from you, it would not be doing all of those things. And even if you make a mistake, okay, at that time, it will be corrected and it will stand the test of time. Okay, and you have a lot of time to correct this. Okay, a lot of time to correct this. And so if you have pattern that you grow something, you help, you facilitate, and then you undermine yourself, you give advice that is stopping this person from growing, you do things that are okay for not should not be done, okay, then you can have a lot of time to correct this pattern. So that that is addressed, okay. And also if you things that you're not seeing, okay, Saturn's to do with debt, with bank accounts, and so on. Okay, I've had the person, the aromatherapy teacher, saying that I see channel things, I see people bank accounts and this and that, and of course I had issue with debt with my bank account. It was because I was whistleblower on the pre-subprime crisis, and where they had basically a fraud for against clients. I refused to cooperate with that, and then that affected my life. And so sometimes you would think you're seeing information, you understand the whole picture, and Saturn will show you you're seeing information is not incorrect, And the fact that debt is initially was caused by my parent letting me write checks that I say is not going to be covered. I don't have balance, and they either would dissociate it or let that, and there was no place, no solution. And it's not safe for people in the street, for mother and daughter alone. Okay, so don't think you know entire picture. Okay, when you don't know entire picture. And not only that, I was on pills that were supposed to keep me able to work with the mental crisis I had following the many corruptions I faced and many corruptions I said no to. And that was the final straw. And you think you see everything, but Saturn is also, when it comes to debt, when it comes to these things, it will give you karma, okay? It will give you karma. If you think you are trying to take the wrong person down, it will show you this is wrong person. And again, it's not to punish you. It's to show you that this was mistake, so you think better. Because I did not find 7th of October in the last couple of years, which cannot be said about your business that began to cross the threshold where you pay taxes, which is good, it is success, but you began to lose hair ancestry when you bought house. Because taxes went to the next Holocaust. And you were tending to that to the best of your ability, but definitely just that is something that Saturn transits can show you. Hey, that was a missing link. It is not your fault that you didn't know. It's not your fault that some hair fell out. It is not your fault. Okay, those things can happen, and we are human. And just like, you know, reconnecting with your inner child is knowing you're capable of mistakes, and you're also capable of being informed and to correct these mistakes. Okay. And it is your teaching that are prospering. Is not turned against you, but is given for the certain correction so that you unlock next level of success and you keep growing successful. And for the people you taught or for your children, keep growing successful. And for you to be able to shine and for you to be able to be seeing other people shine as well. And if it's fertility, for to be able to have children and enjoy being parent. That is, again, and if you are in between those years, okay, give yourself the blessing of compassion. And even if you find it difficult to find self-compassion, be compassionate with the fact that you find it difficult to find self-compassion. Okay? It is okay. It is okay. And Saturn gives results that stand the test of time. So thank you for listening.